Cool Masters, he definitely submitted 3 different links. And I was like, bro, I'll definitely just take the most recent one. I don't know why he did that. Can't be helped, I suppose. It hasn't been like that for a long time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like literal months. This is interesting. This is an interesting start because as a Gotenks player, you should probably look to take advantage of your neutral advantage here. While Hit has no meter. The problem with Hit is that like when he has meter, then you have to start dealing like him EX dancing through your shit. But like when you're playing the point matchup, you don't have to worry about that as much. So I would say play a little bit less scared just out of the gate, right? You're just like burning double jump, trying to get away from orbs. You don't even like call an assist or anything. But Hit is much less scary without meter, so you can still like do some things. You don't have to strictly run away. Yeah, where are your assists? Already in the first 2 interactions of this match, you could have called assist here, and that stops him from just running in. Especially because you have an assist that goes through projectiles in Gogeta, Red Gogeta. And then again, when you get your turn here and you string into EX punches, you also don't press assist here, right? And you should press assist because you have 2 assists. You still get pressure or potentially a mix-up here. So I don't know why you didn't call them. Is it better to register early even if you're not entirely certain if you'll get to go? Or is it fine to wait? It's better to sign up early and then ask for a refund later if it's possible than wait and then potentially be cut off by caps and price hikes and whatnot, I would say. Oh, you're playing Gogeta C. I see. Even that though, it's a DP assist, so you can still call it defensively there. You should, Piccolo should die. Yeah. Yeah, so like this is like cool to go for if it's gonna kill. So since it doesn't kill, you still give him the same opportunity to spark as he had before, so this is not as worth there. Because you didn't have any meter to like the level 1 after or anything like that. XM? XM had a block stun? I don't even know what you could have been trying to do here. He also didn't vanish your vanish back. I don't know what's up with that. Alright. Yeah, it's NLBC. Of course it's PS4. I think they're bringing back QC tournaments sometime soon. Okay. Okay. Super dead. That has not worked yet. You've gone for that twice. And he has been ready both times. Punish, yep. Didn't even need to spend 3. 1 would have done. That's really awkward. He air blocks, but you're also pretty high up here, so Lord knows who's actually plus here. I think if you were high enough to where you could fall with the button and get it out before you landed, then you would have gotten a hit, but you're so low to the ground, you don't have time to like mash a button in time, and so that's why you guys trade. Okay. I think I already have, like, honestly, off the first game, I think I have just about everything I need, but I'm gonna watch the rest of the set here to make sure. Ghost, you could definitely use some work. It's fine. It's only +1, so that's why you still want to call an assist there. You can like late assist call, and if they try to mash, then they get hit. Yep. Keep going for that, but every single time he's been ready to react with super dash. So at some point you gotta understand that the option that you're going for just isn't working out. He definitely could have killed. I don't know what he's doing. Started with Gab. Happy birthday. All right, this makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. It is what it is. People don't want Cloud, then I'm definitely not gonna leave that shit open and sit and wait for people. It is what it is. Damn. Definitely need to work on some of these Gotenks routes. Oh god. Costs way too much money to be sitting there waiting for people. I don't see anyone like use that charge 5H like at all on Piccolo. Weird to see it. I guess to be safe. I don't think he needed to do that. Low damage super problems. Yeah, I can't bet it on full screen there. Okay. Okay. Bark. Rip. Oh, okay. Wow, he got there in time? What an option. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before. Oh my god. Okay. You, my friend, Mr. Coolmaster. So, easiest way to break it down into someone who doesn't get analysis that often is you need to focus on the 3 pillars. The 3 pillars of the game, which are offense, neutral, defense, right? Okay. Offense. Your assist calls need some work. Like, a lot of work. In neutral, like when someone is trying to approach you, it is okay to call an assist to like kind of cut them off. That's actually a lot of how the game is kind of played right now. It's like these defensive assist calls, because your assists both lead to full combos, even off of a defensive call, because one of the Gogeta is wall bounce, the other one's a C assist. And so like if either of them makes contact or even trades, then most of the time you can still get a full combo off of it. And so like you don't want to just be mashing your assist in neutral, because like in that case a lot of the times it will miss. But don't be afraid, like when someone calls like an assist and you think they're trying to move behind it, like don't be afraid to like try to counter call and stop them from kind of like breaching on your space. You need to use your assist and block strings. I don't know what the deal is with that, but you're like trying to you're an exhauster, and so like what you'll do is you'll do very standard stuff. Like most of the mixed ups that you're going for is system mechanic stuff. Is like you're aiming for 6Ms, you're just doing like, you know, standard IEDs, and you're doing DRs a lot. But most of the time your DRs come after you have no assist left. Like almost all your DRs are whenever you have no assist left and you're like, I don't know how to hit him anymore, so I'm gonna try to grab. And so you should work on that habit for sure, because it makes it really easy to call out when you're gonna do certain things on offense. You always want to keep your opponent guessing when you're on offense. And there's a lot of different ways to like go for mix-ups and stuff in this game. You just have to be creative and kind of know what you can do with your characters and what you don't. You need to lab that stuff out. Your routes need a lot of work, and thankfully like combos and routes can be practiced. So you can like literally look up videos of what routes to do off of certain hits, and you can just practice. Eventually your routes will be good. But in particular, you gotta practice Ghost Oki. Gotta be doing proper Ghost Oki. If you're gonna pick Go tanks, you need to do proper Ghost Oki. And so definitely look up a guide for that and just practice doing the right things. Because what I saw in this match was not super great. And like I said, there's not really a point in picking him unless you're gonna do Ghost Oki. That's the reason you kind of pick Go tanks. So definitely that leaves something to be desired. Neutral, you gotta try to you gotta play calmer. You're too binary, and what I mean by that is like, if you like play this float back game where like you like don't want to interact with your opponent, or you're dialed to 11 and you're just trying to force your way in over and over again. Those are like your two modes. And in reality, fighters is like kind of an amalgamation. Like it involves those two things, but those aren't the only two ways to play. And so like certain tools on your characters are going to be more effective in certain ranges, and so you should get a feel for which of those tools to use in the ranges that they're available at. Because right now, like, I'm not seeing a lot of key blasting, like especially in matchups where you have key blast advantage. You're more willing to like ship it on like EX Lariat from full screen, which like I don't blame you for, because the game kind of tells you to do that. But in reality, if that is your only way of navigating the neutral, and you're not threatening with your movement, you're not threatening with, you know, good assist calls and whatnot, it just makes it really lackluster. And as you play better players, that shit just won't rock. You'll just get run over. And so you need to focus on using your movement more, trying to play the effective ranges of your characters, and then like using your assists and whatnot to make it more difficult for your opponent to lock you down. You don't always have to swing auto combo every time you whiff something. You can go for air to airs, you can go for anti-air. There's like a lot of different things that you can do, but you need different angles of approach. If you approach in the same way every single time in the neutral, makes it really easy. Why do people get 2H on super dashes so much? Usually it's because it's really obvious, or they're relying on the tool too much, so their opponent looks for it, right? And so that's really important. Defense. I think you need to. I am prescribing you a defense bot. I need you to do a defense bot, because I feel like you're incredibly uncomfortable on defense, to the point where anytime your opponent presses like one or two things on your block, you're already either mashing vanish, or, you know, trying to reflect or guard cancel, right? Even when there's no like mix up to fear, so to speak, like if your opponent is block stringing you with no assist, there's no reason for you to freak out and like be mashing vanish and stuff like that, unless it like there are some characters that can kind of force that dynamic. Like Z-Broly is still very, very scary to block even solo, but like your opponent wasn't playing any of those characters, and so like you can afford to block it out a bit longer to exhaust your opponent from resources, and then you're playing with an advantage from there. If you're gonna rely on defensive mechanics, like you don't always want to rely on the mechanics, right? Sometimes the correct option is to just block it out and wait for your opponent to overextend, and then you punish the overextension. But when you do decide to use the defensive mechanics, you need to focus on using it to maximum effectiveness. So there's a difference between a good guard cancel and a bad guard cancel, right? And so you want more of the good, less of the bad, and that goes for every defensive system mechanic in this game, because that's the hard part of defending. It's like it gives you a ton of options, but getting a feel for what to use when, and what, you know, has the highest risk reward percentage, and what, like, that's the hard part of defense. But once you get a feel for that, it becomes much harder for your opponent to know what to do, and you'll find that you're getting punishes much more. So try to rely a little bit less on, you know, reflecting guard cancel and vanish, and, you know, you mash DP a few times. There are a few mashes on defenses straight up, right? Try to focus a little bit less on that and focus on like actually defending your opponent, because an overwhelming majority of the mix-ups that are in this game are reactable, and so if that's the case, then you should just react, right? That is going to be the best option for you, because it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything to react and block. Whereas it does cost you something to bet it on reflect, or you know, pressing a button or something. The risk reward on those is like way more skewed. So those are the three major aspects that I think you need to work on, and then I think you'll be good. And I think a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about can be labbed. Like I said, you can get defense bot settings from a bunch of people. I know Super Larry does defense bots that you can like literally just import into your game files and stuff like that. So if that's something that you would be open to, then I would grab that, and then try to tighten things up from there, and then you know, down the line, get another session. You know, we'll talk about what more improvements you can make from there. But that's what I got for you this time around. Okay, second was yeah, I'm gonna skip Isaac's, he's asleep, and then I'll do Adrian's, and then Isaac's and Hemar's I'll do tomorrow. Actually, I mean, Hemar's here, so I guess I'll just do his, and I'll do Adrian's tomorrow. I don't think Adrian is here. He didn't get to pick. He had you tight off of not being able to pick a retro BGM. Okay, so he opens with standard approach.exe on Dragon Ball Fighters, dash jump assist, right? And so important when you're choosing to play non-committal round start. Like I don't want to interact with my opponent on round start, so I'm gonna back off, right? Don't forget that you can call your assist here too, right? You can do super jump back plus assist. You can do jump IED back plus assist. And with Vegito, that's really good. And if you had done that, what usually is gonna happen is that either the assists are gonna clash, or he'll be forced to block, and it stops his approach altogether. You don't get locked down, right? And that's what's important here. You might even you might even get him to like max super dash or something, and get a punish for it. But most importantly, it's not choosing to play non-committal on round start. It's not, the job is not done. There's still more to do here, and so don't do nothing, right? You still have defensive assist calls and whatnot, even if you're choosing to be less committal. What makes round starts committal or not is not the assist usage. It's actually the point character. And so like you can be non-committal on the point character and still spend an assist to keep yourself safe, if you feel like that is appropriate on drops. Yeah. Wow, you got away with that tag. That's it. Yeah, you committed to so like on defense. On defense, he likes to choose reflect and hold up. Those are like his two primary options. And so like you should not hard commit on your strings super early, because like you assume that he's gonna block this, but stagger 5H actually hits a lot of people in the game. I talk about this all the time, right? About how often stagger 5H will hit people. And so you can wait, especially because you have an assist. So what happens here if you wait a little bit to choose your option, right? So you do 5H, let's say he blocks it, and then you do like delay legs, right? If you do delay legs and he like reflects or something, you still have an assist. And so he can't do reflect into button or anything like that. He still has to respect the assist that's there. So don't just assume, especially when you're doing stagger 5H, because a lot of people get hit by that shit. I mean, you're a Vegito player. You should know. Oh. Fraudulent Vegito player. Didn't know. Lacks critical information. 100% bring Antonio in here. Yep. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? What? How do you fuck up the easy part? You get the mix and then just don't combo? Just 5M instead. What are you doing? Don't forget, so like when you're in this situation, right? When 17 is involved, when the blast is coming out, you can GC vanish. If he's in the air, because you can't 2H here, right? So that's still an option you have on the table. You like don't necessarily have to hold that every time. He did JH and then 5M, so the standard bait. I don't even think he meant to bait. I think he was just gonna do that anyway. And it just happened to work. It just be like that. Oh, it drops. Okay. That was a punish. This is just a straight up punish. Literally mash here. You get a free hit. Waited way too long. Okay. Seems like we're out here making mistakes. Okay, play chicken this time. I'll go sticky. Okay. You see? That's just waiting to cool down. He has 17 though, so be a little bit careful. I would be careful about just like shipping it here. Because like since you dash forward before you do EX punches, he could just press 17 just in case. And you just get cooked. You get cooked for that, so be careful about that. I would say. I think a lot of the time you're gonna run into 17 assists there if he does try to mash it. Getting hit by a ton of 6M assists right now. You're like blocking cross-ups and shit, but every time, I think every time he's done 6M assists, you've gotten hit so far. So another thing is, I think Gotenks, I mean, there's a few different Gotenks players. I think tunnel vision on Ghostoki in this situation, because like the problem is that if something happens where you don't explicitly lock him down, let's say you do lock him down in these sparks, you lose a character from the sparking scramble. You're gonna die to pretty much any hit here, so it might have been smarter to bring in your other character off of the last hit that you got instead of running Ghostoki, just because like you're gonna die. You're gonna die next hit, like to this team, like pretty much no matter what. And so like that might be a little safer given this situation, more so than going for the Ghostoki and like now you scramble, right? And you try to punish the GC Vanish, but he holds tag. Now he gets a hit. And like you won't die here because off of like he spent his bar on GC Vanish, but he still gets out for relatively scot-free. Tag, bro. Oh my god. Why are we letting Gotenks in to die like this? That's cool. Don't think I've ever seen that happen like that before. Pretty funny. the game. I mean, like, when you clash and then, I mean, you were autopiloting, so. Like, his 5H will always beat your 2M. It is mad slow. Tough. Wonder if you held up here. Oh no, you tried to tech the you guessed tech then. A lot of you guys really do guess tech in that. Bro, in what world does 17 get to run full screen against the 21 and press like this? Oh, you gotta do some reaction training or something, man. You're just not responding quick enough to some of these situations that are happening. You're missing punishes for it. You're missing opportunities. You're letting people get away with a lot. Easiest 2H of your life. Like, come on, man. What you should have done here? Well, first of all, don't double 2L when you go for this low mix. You need to do 2L 5M. 2L slight delay 5M so it naturally anti-reflects. If he reflects and he gets away with it, I mean, like, you sat here and walked back for like ever. So, like, that's pretty silly. What should you have done there on round start? I mean, like, you could do literally anything, but don't let him run forward and 5M you like that. Yeah, just like, if you're gonna back off, then just go airborne. That's where 17 sucks. 17 is not super good in the air, so like, why not put yourself in the air instead of relying on backdash instead? Especially when you know that he's playing an assist that can hit backdash anyway. Actually, I think both of those assists can hit backdash. Gogeta might be iffy. I know Vegito does. You should be looking to play dead zone on round start here. Where's the dead zone at? It's upper right hand corner of the screen. It's up here. It's up here. Right? It's not back here. He can still hit that with Vegito assist. You need to go up. Can't moon jump back, but I know what you meant, man. Gogeta Blue A is one of the most non-talked about OD assists. It's a good assist. It's definitely not as strong as the strongest assist in the game, though. It's just a super jump G. You can't get dash momentum backwards. That's why you can't moon jump. Yeah, you're just really slow. Like, really slow. Reactions are slow. Adaptation is slow. So like, there are a few situations where like you literally just get a punish and you either hesitated or just aren't reacting fast enough, and so like that's a big problem. You'll never win that way. And the way to train reactions in the game, right? And so a lot of people think that reactions are strictly genetic, and that is once you're born, you're just stuck with whatever reactions you have. That's actually not the case. First of all, your reactions can be maintained by using them more often, which is why players like Daigo, players like Tokido are 30 plus and can still play fighting games at an extremely high level. Yes? Okay, that's the first thing. Second, reactions get faster in situations if you're familiar with said situation. right? So most reactions in the game are not raw reactions. They're not, I'm expecting nothing at all, and my opponent does something and I have to react, right? That's not most situations in the game. Your mind, as you're playing the game, is going to, or it should narrow down the amount of options that your opponent has, given where they are on the screen, what they have available to them, right? And using that, you slim down the amount of options that your opponent can choose at any given moment, and so that you are more ready to react to that smaller subset of options. Instead of, you know, thinking about 50 million options that they can choose, you can narrow it down to 3 or 4, and then that is much easier to be ready for, as opposed to just like guessing straight up what they're gonna choose, and then trying to react in time, right? And so that matters a lot. So the more familiar you are with the situations, the faster you will react. And right now it feels like you're very unfamiliar for whatever reason. I'm not sure, or maybe you're just not confident or something, but there are a lot of opportunities being missed here, like a ton. And so you need to play more and be more familiar with the situations, and I think it's an and thing more so than or. You need to play with more confidence. Like if you're in a situation and you think it's a punish, then go for the punish, right? There's no reason to hesitate, because it's better for you to go for the punish, and then maybe it isn't a straight up punish, right? But you still get the knowledge that, okay, that doesn't punish there, so I'm gonna try something else instead, right? You still get the information. Even if the situation doesn't work out for you, you still get valuable information for, you know, not only future, like later on in the set, but just in general, just for your general play. So that's really important. I think that is a big part of why things are kind of happening the way they are. You're also not adapting to your opponent's defense fast enough. So when you run your offense on your opponent, you should always be paying attention to what did they choose last time. What did I choose? What did my opponent choose when I ran my offense last time? Did he reflect? Did he do this? Did he guard cancel? You should pay attention to their timer, right? This is something that I do that helps a lot. When I put my opponent in a block string, or when I'm running my offense, not only do I pay attention to what option they choose, but I pay attention to the timing in which they choose said option, because it's not all about which option they choose. Generally, people have a number of how long they're willing to block before they choose an option, right? And once you hit that max, they're going to commit to something, because they just don't want to block anymore. They don't want to defend anymore. They're going to choose something, regardless of whether that option ends up working out or not. And so once you get a feel for the timing, I honestly think that the timing is more important than the option themselves, because if I have a feel for, okay, now that I've got this far into my string, I think he's going to choose something here. Regardless of what he chooses, if I'm ready to react in that scenario, I can punish most things. If he guard cancels, I can punish. If he reflects, I can anti-reflect, or I can just let him whiff, right? If he jumps, I can be ready with an assist call, or ready to back off or disengage, right? That timing matters so much when it comes to like trying to call out your opponent on defense. And I think you should pay way more attention to that, because I think that's something that you're lacking when you're running your offense. It's too through the motions. What about opponents that will block forever? You can't block forever. Against someone with good offense, you can't block forever. If you block long enough against me, I will 50-50 you multiple times. I promise you. So you're gonna have to make a decision. You have to, unless you want to take the 50-50 every time. It's up to you, but most people don't. And so that doesn't come into play. And that goes hand in hand, right? You adjust your offense based on the defense of your opponent. If they play more committal defense, then you rely on tight staggers, and you rely on anti-reflect more, and you let them whiff a lot more, right? Against people that are willing to actually try to defend, which you're doing, and play less committal defense, they're more open to being kited, aka like super jump plus assist. They're left more open to like SD assist as well, right? They leave their, when you choose a style of defense, you are going to be weaker against certain things and stronger against the others, and it is your job as someone that's playing offense to adjust your offense to the defense of your players, of your opponent, if that makes sense. And so you'll notice, if you watch some of my games, some people I don't really mix. I don't really mix like that, right? There's some people that I know that don't really block like that. And so like I don't even need to mix you. I'll just stagger you, and oh wow, they got hit, so I get a free hit. I don't even have to mix them at that point. Conversely, like if you go back and watch my set against like Pred, or my set against Inzem, right? I'm going for mix-ups way more. I'm going for mix-ups way more because they understand the defensive interactions in the game, and so it is on me to mix them from there because I know that their fundamental defense is going to be fine. They can block some shit, right? What happens after though? You have to be creative. You have to be willing to adjust your playstyle based on what your opponent is doing. My YouTube recommendations are interesting. Yeah, I watch these horror movie breakdowns by Cinema Summary. They're actually pretty cool. They're actually pretty cool. I kind of fuck with it. I'm not gonna lie, but it just be like that. But yeah, so like that matters a lot, and I think if you focus more on that moving forward, you'll have a much better time. It's too it's too one-dimensional. It's about having depth to your offense, right? That's what a lot of people lack when they run offense in this game. They lack depth, right? They might have like that pretty solid like layer 1 offense, right? But what happens whenever your opponent's ready for the layer? Then what happens? A lot of people fall apart. A lot of people, when their opponent answers their layer 1 offense, they have nowhere to go. And so you have to continually make adjustments to your gameplay. And this is not just offense, it's actually just the game in general, right? In neutral and defense, you should always be monitoring what your opponent is doing, what style they like to play, change what your options based on what they are doing. Force them out of their comfort zone because they're forcing you out of your comfort zone, right? The more, if they're out of their comfort zone, then their decisions are made slower, or their decisions are made more rashly. They're not considering the consequences of their options, and so they choose stuff with much worse risk reward. And so we punish those things. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense? Cool. Last thing, health management. This game is too high damage for you to tunnel vision on Ghost Oki, right? Ghost Oki is very strong, and I'm not saying don't do it. However, right, when you're playing against a team like this, right, Hikari's team, Yasha's team, this team kills on everything. Like almost everything will kill you because they build a ton of meter. They just do a lot of damage. They abuse the special tag mechanics really well, right? And so even if you have a little bit of health missing, you need to constantly be thinking to yourself, is it worth going for Ghost Oki here, or am I leaving myself open to the possibility of getting scrambled and dying, right? This would be fundamentally different than like 21 Oki, right? 21 Oki, you can just do that shit because the RPS nature is just severely reduced, right? 21 Oki is just a mix. Gotenks Ghost Oki, while it is extremely strong and every option can be covered in theory, it's still RPS because obviously you as a human cannot react to everything at once. And so if that is the case and it leads to a scramble and your opponent pressed the button and you're at 80% health, you still die. And so you should think to yourself, is it worth going for it here, or is it worth bringing in another character to you know, set up a contingency plan for myself, right? Sometimes it'll be sometimes one answer will be right, sometimes the other will be right. There's no like right answer for every single time, but it's something that you should consider because you can put yourself in some really bad situations. A lot of people think when they're at 85% health that means they're safe. That's not the case in the game. The game's so high damage, you just die, right? You just die from 85% a lot, especially if it's late into the game. So like if you're at 85% and your opponent has no meter, then you're fine, right? But if you're at 85% and your opponent, you guys have played a decent amount of neutral, right? And your opponent has 3 bars to start the combo with, you're gonna die. You will die. Because that's the only preventative factor of damage in this game for the most part is meter. Meter is where a bulk of the damage comes from in this game. So like you need to be paying attention to, okay, my opponent has 5 bars. Just in case he ends up getting a hit on me, I'm gonna go into the full health character just in case, so I don't die off of a random straight hit, because otherwise you're just gonna be in a lot of danger from there. So I think those are the most important. Do I dead meat? I don't watch their stuff. I have seen a few kill counts though. I have seen a few kill counts, but I don't watch them regularly. I watch Cinema Summary. I watch Nerd Explains. and I watch Hit Start are the 3 that I watch for like the horror movie breakdowns. They're actually really interesting. I don't like go out. I don't really watch like horror movies. I don't like go out of my way to watch them. I don't mind watching them. I just don't go out of my way to watch them. But their breakdowns are really cool. I think it's a really nerdy way of approaching movies, and I like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, keep working on it, Hebar. Keep working on it. Keep working on it. YouTube wants you to watch the DMC timeline so bad. That's funny as shit. 3 hours? Yeah, you missed me. No, you missed me, bro. You're feeling discouraged with Gotenks recently? That's because you're letting him die. Yeah, you gotta protect him, bro. You gotta protect all your characters. You gotta cherish all your characters as if they're equally important. It must be done, or else you will always die. Feel like you lose him in the point war all the time, then that probably means that you should be rotating characters earlier. Like, you can start Gotenks, and if things are not going well, you can always tag. There's so many times, so many opportunities to tag in this game. You don't have to, just because you make a decision to start a character doesn't mean that they have to remain on point until they die or you get hit, right? You could be like, man, this neutral's not working out. I'm going to try going into another character. I do that shit all the time. Sometimes I'm like, damn, Bardock's not really working here. So I just tag Frieza. I'm like, maybe this will work better. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But it at least like prioritizes like health management and keeping the team together. So can't really complain about that. Okay, the other 2 analysis for Isaac and Adrian I'll do tomorrow.